Good morning, all.
Good morning, Vietnam.
I was waiting for it. I was just waiting for that one. Yep. How is everybody doing this morning? I'm only into one cup, so Gray's going to start this out today, not my normal trip herself after working my long, long hours.
Great. I don't even know what to say, but I'll make up something.
Let's see who's in the house. Lady T's in the house. Creative, good to see you. Zani's in the house. Muzzle Flash, good to see you. Thornhaven, good to see you. Monty's in here. And Harvey Black so far.
I shared it out. Shared it out late, but I shared it out.
So did I. Just shared it out too, so I don't feel so bad. Guys, share this out. If you come in, don't forget, hit the thumbs up. Stars Preppers in the house. There's a topic that I want to talk about. He just mentioned it, was the heat. Jess is here. The heat in the what's that, Eddie? What you laughing at?
Jess must not have enough coffee either. She put Gray Man Survival.
I'm surprised that that's why I didn't highlight it. I did highlight it on your end. That's funny. Gray Man Survival. Well, you do a lot of, hey, you got to talk to me. I seen your little icon yesterday morning for your camping trip.
Who, Creative?
You.
Me?
Aren't you and the family going to go camping? I know I just saw that. Your thumbnail picture of it says camping with the family or something.
No. Must be another clone of Gray Man.
No, I know better than that. I ain't losing my mind that I know of anyway.
I'm curious now too, because you said you saw me in a commercial one day. Now I'm really curious about that commercial as well.
That was your arm I saw in the commercial. You're holding one of your little bags. It was summer preparedness activities for the family.
Oh yeah, that I did. That's yeah. So basically I wanted to do a video. I did my video yesterday and I wanted to, the kids are out of school and stuff like that. And I was trying to think of ways to make preparedness and prepping fun. So I came up with a bunch of different ideas and suggestions for folks out there to do with their families, even all the way to if you couldn't go out and couldn't go out camping or go out hiking, that's something that you could do at home with, shutting off the power and doing like a, power outage blackout, weekend or something, or sleepover with the kids and kind of, teach them things.
Cool. D14, thank you so much for the super chat. He's D14 is kicking the crap out of Monty on the super chats. So, guys, today we're going to be talking about blackouts. We're going to be talking about some of the things going on with this extreme heat. And, guys, don't forget, if you're part of that extreme heat, hydration. And Gray does have a video out on the whole hydration thing. If you guys go back into his video list, he's got a bunch of stuff out there that you can help to keep yourself cool. We're going to talk about some of the cooling drinks. But I wanted to get into some of the blackouts and the whole July 9th concept and some other things. So we're going to talk about that. Garden update. We're going to do a little bit of a garden update. Mine is clicking in kind of slow, but she's coming pretty good at the same time. I think I got past the part of stuff dying off, getting roasted. We're back to our normal thing. Hey, Grant, good to see you, buddy.
We got a new sub in chat, Britt Marie.
Britt Marie, where do you see that?
It's his first time here. So far, seems like a good bunch of people. Right above Keto.
Good morning. Oh, Britt, good morning. Glad you could join us.
Paige Denise, S. Moore, that dropped in as well.
Yeah, they're filling in. Don't forget, hit that thumbs up. Let's YouTube know that we're not retarded.
Yeah.
Until our second cup of coffee, at least, anyway. So one of the things I noticed with my gardens, I got hit hard this first half with potato bugs. And I don't know if you guys have those up in our, I shouldn't say up, I should say down in the south. But potato bugs will devastate, and they will chew through everything and anything. And before you know it, they have the plants down to a stub, and nothing was working. We were trying some homemade remedies, and we tried some natural organic remedies, and I finally had to go and break down and get 7, which I wasn't happy about, but at the same time, I got to protect my plants. So, welcome to the Rambling Preppers. Yeah, pretty much. The prepper's over there. That's the prepper.
Okay, we have homesteader and prepper. Kind of gives you two sides of the coin, as they say.
Pretty close. And some in betweens. There's a lot of gray area. So, what is the deal with this heat wave, Gray?
I don't know. I know it's a lot worse up there out west, and where it's moving to. Here in Florida, I mean, it's been hot, but it's not like it's our typical hot. You know what I mean? And the humidity is the same, and then we're getting our afternoon showers, every other day or so. Matter of fact, as I'm looking out the window, the wind is picking up, and it's cloudy and dark out, so it's probably gonna do an early morning rain today.
Or it was raining here already, so it's kind of weird. But for these people that are up there in Washington, a lot of those guys don't have air conditioning. There's never no need for it. So they are having a brutal time because they're not used to this at all.
And you know what's ironic about that, to be honest with you, is here in Florida, you would figure no one has heaters, but I do. I have 4 heaters as a backup, because you never know, it could be a Texas-like event. It's always good to be prepared. I prepare outside of my realm of things, just for my surrounding environment, just because I'm just, maybe call me paranoid. There you go.
Thorhaven, yeah, exactly. I heard that it's up by you guys and by Quebec, Homestead, stuff like that. It's hotter than normal there too. So it's really a strange thing.
Stars is nasty in Ohio up there too. What's up? What's up, Northern Girl?
You guys can keep all that stuff. Buggy Dude 53, good to see you. Moved north Homestead, good to see you.
Yeah, I got some pros and cons with my garden too. Wait till I show it. I think I'm going to do it Wednesday. It's I've had some good stuff happen and some crap stuff happen, and I'm fighting certain bugs and stuff as well. But it is what it is. It's our first year, and we're going to see how it plays out. Like I said, one of the tomato plants it's like on steroids, and some of the other ones are just like, we can't make it. It's too hot.
And it has to do with, I think a lot of that has to do with just the type of tomato. I mean, I've got some nice ones out there that are just massively huge. Mm-hmm. And then I've got other ones that have been struggling just to survive. So, and I was like, it doesn't make sense because they're in the same, we do the back to Eden method. So they're in the same kind of soil. They got the same amendments. Everything was the same. So I can't understand. It has to be the strain of the plant or the seed. And that would be the strain of the plant too, I guess. Some are doing so much better. Other ones are not. The ones we had last year, we had a pretty good tomato harvest all the way around. We never had any issues. All the plants were real nice and big. This year, like you said, some are big and some are just like, I ain't going to do it. It's very strange. The cabbage is doing wonderful. So the fermented cabbage this year is going to be great. And we're going to be putting away a lot of sauerkraut. And actually, for the first time in my life, I'm actually able to grow Brussels sprouts because they are just kicking butt. I could not believe it.
I know the little beans, or I call them little beans because they're just little tiny sprouts right now. Those are starting to come up. They have their first, they're what do they call it? Those first leaves that they get when they sprout?
Oh,
They're seedling leaves or
they're
something.
seedlings. Yeah.
So once they get a little bit past that, the cucumbers are probably ready to be transplanted by now. They're about 12 inches in height.
So Britt says we hunt here in California. Some of the forests have shut down, waiting to see if they're closed the rest late last year. If so, I don't know where we're going to get our meat. It's scary times. Very true. And you guys are also having, hey, here we got a first per knowledge in here about the aquifer that they shut down in California. Can somebody explain in the chat how an aquifer, which is an underground river or underground lake, however you want to look at it, runs out of water? Keto says smart false leaves.
Harvey said first leaves, and Keto said false leaves. I'm gonna make up my own gardening book and call it seedling leaves. Miss Mitz, what's up?
Good to see you, buddy.
There's no restrictions here in Florida because I have I water the garden with the whatever you want to call it, the huge sprinkler thing. I do that, and then I do some direct watering depending on what I'm doing. And there has been nothing here of yet anything about water or droughts or stuff like that. So I'm thankful.
It says it's really looking forward to not being in the hundreds today. Everybody's getting up in there and hot. That's crazy.
I wonder. Let me see what my weather's going to be like today while we're sitting here.
We got 24 in the house showing me. So CNC Farms, much needed rainfall here in Wyoming. I hear you, buddy. We're just getting ours now, so it's going to be hopefully everything is getting a good water. So I'm going to come in hot this time and see what's going on with the blackouts, guys. I found out yesterday. We're going to go do a little rewind. So if you remember the pipeline, I'm just asking questions. These are all hypothetical. We know about the pipeline. We know about how it was paid off, and then the big meat plants. Okay, if you guys remember those conversations, it said that this is going to affect because it's going to take us a while to come back online because they shut the two main meat plants off, and then it turned around 2 days later and it fired right back up. Now, Gray made a good point to pay them off right away. Or what I was asking, is this a false, I don't want to say false flag, but false scenario to see what we're going to do because everybody went into a rush and went chaotic. And then they turned it back on right away and everything is the prices went up, but the plants are running. And they fired up that other plant. They're just making it so that, okay, we think that this is going to go on. You guys, the moral of my story is the last thing that is left to test. So a person made a very good comment the other day. If you're looking at something, Gray, and I go and I start shaking let's say Gray's got his fence, he's got all his perimeters up, and I'm the zombie guy because I know he likes watching the zombie stuff. And I go and I test your fence the first time. I go and knock down your cameras the second time. The third time I bring some friends along with me. What am I doing?
Probing.
I'm probing. I'm checking the perimeters. I'm seeing what he's going to do. All right. We all heard that the National Guard and everything else just came off their 2-week training, and it was for blackouts. Why would our military be training for blackouts?
Yeah, I've heard that too. I've talked to a couple of my buddies that are still, and I got some folks down in Texas. I got some folks at Bragg and some folks here locally, and they've been saying there's a lot of odd stuff going on, what they're training for, the different type of gear they're being issued, stuff like that.
Very, very strange. So what my bottom line is, guys, is that the last, and this is just my opinion, the last structure that has not had a cyber tag on it is our power, the grid, which is one of our weakest. Now let's go back a couple notches. Let's go to the G3. Now I'm sure everybody was up and watching the G3 summit between Putin and Mr. 46 because what? 42? 52?
G7.
G7, okay.
Because trust me, someone will comment later and say, hey, you got that wrong, because I get it all the time.
Sorry, guys, G7 summit. So I know that was a very boring thing, but if you guys listen to what was being said there, he gave out ones that not to hit. He literally told them, don't hit these, but he left everything else wide open. And the conversation that was later on, if you guys haven't, go listen to what Putin says after the fact. It is very interesting content. So that being said, the last thing that is out here that they have not, they hit the cyber, they hit the internet, cyber attacks. So they hit the internet, they hit the pipeline, they hit the fuel lines, they hit the food source. What's left is you have the banks and you have the power. And there was some blackouts, but I haven't heard 100% yet that the ones that were there were a test or any kind of attack on the situation. More or less, it was just power outages. Might be wrong on that one, but I haven't heard and got the proof to back it that said that was actually a attack. The other thing is, like with these extreme heats, that puts a toll on the system. So that can be a factor too. But I would be very cautious right now because if this does happen in extreme heat like it is like now, obviously people are not going to have their air conditioner, so they're going to have to learn to do other things. But I'm looking at more in the fall time. Military strategy says what do? Is they do it in the early mornings. The whole shock and awe method is in that time frame of early morning when they're thinking a lot of people are in bed yet. Same thing on the other side of town. It is their late night. So if this does pop, that might be a scenario too. So we really want to make sure that we have our means. Gray has been talking to you guys a lot about your first aid. There's another one that has been really, even in my neck of the things, I'm looking around and I'm short on a few things. And I'm like, I don't have the saline bags and stuff like that. And I'm like, can I make my own? Probably. Is it going to be as handy? No. But I've been going through this last couple of weeks here because the homestead's getting ready for us to start harvesting. We are starting to get some of the stuff. We're starting to get the herbs in. We're starting to dry things. We're starting to bring in this season's harvest. And it would really, really affect me hard if I lost power. I'd have to do it some old ways, and it would not be interesting. Moon sprouts.
D14, yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying. And if you watch Rudy did an extreme in-depth video over at Alaska Prepper, his whole drought thing and this whole cycle and when the last time this mega droughts hit. So it was quite intriguing. So yeah, I agree. And like I said, suspicious observers and Adapt 2030. A lot of those folks are talking about the magnetic. Where was it at? The magnetic stuff and all the stuff like that and what's going on and the whole cycle that we're going through. And we're going to be dealing with this roughly for the next, I think, 30 or 40 years because we're in that new cycle.
It could be to the plates that are moving in the aquifers, the rivers that run through the plates and stuff like that. It could be draining in other places. I don't know that, but there's, like Gray just said, there's so much stuff that's going on in our world, but that we have no handle on. There's nothing that we can do about it. So we need to concentrate what we can deal with in ourselves. And that's what, we hope you guys are listening and preparing for. If you're homesteading, you got a lot of different avenues. Gray even saw it as a full-blown prepper. He took it upon himself as I'm going to start to turn things to the homesteading because he's looking for that renewable resources. So there's things that you guys can do. Don't worry about what we can't control. Worry about what we can control.
Also, you got Sprad Paranormal. It says it's been like a year.
Hey, buddy. Nice to meet you all. Well, it's been like a year.
Yeah. And I think Muzzle said, what would you do without powered refrigerators and freezers, man? And I'm thinking in my head, to be honest, if you're talking about like meat preservation and stuff like that, you have the smoked meat, salts. There's all different types of ways that the primitives did it. You got to look at the way. That's why I always look back at how primitive man did what they did without current technology, because that's what it's going to come down to. If anything ever really bad happens, is to learn those techniques and learn how they did it and how they survived.
Right now, I think the best avenue for the days that we live in, canning meats is probably going to be your best. Now we're looking at the fact of canning meal, your soups, your rice and chicken meals. I'm looking at canning ready to eat meals. So number one is I don't have to burn so much resources if I want to actually heat it up. Because you think about this, if I have to cook that and then I'm using resources, okay, so I got to cook the chicken, then I got to cook the rice, I got to do all that stuff. If I already have it made, all I have to do is heat it up. So, and technically I could eat that cold out of the jar. I wouldn't even have to heat it up.
And remember too, you can't, like I saw some, I think Star said about, make sure the meat's dry when you do smoke and stuff like that. So if you have meat, think about the kind of meats you have. A lot of it's lean, protein, heavily protein laden. You got to have fats for your body to work efficiently, for your brain and things like that. You can fact check me, you can Google it, you can dig into it. You got to have fats in your diet, as well as some carbs.
Yeah, Moonsprouts, she is saying, I am pressure canning most of the meat in our freezers, as well as, that's a very good idea, dry beans. That's pretty much right on the mark right there. We're doing a lot of that ourselves. The other thing that we're having a terrible time finding, which is crazy, is canning lids. Canning lids are in every store that we have in our town is completely out. There's no lids to be found. You got jars with new lids, but you don't have any old lids.
It's funny you say that, because I've been hunting neem oil down and I could find it online, but here locally, it's almost like even at Walmart, there's giant conglomerate. I went there just to see, and they literally had one bottle of it. All the other insecticides, they had tons of that, but one bottle of neem oil in the entire big box store.
If you guys haven't been paying attention, start watching your local stores, because I was thinking about this the other day. So we know it's all a part of corporation. We know everything else. So these big stores, I asked myself, is their produce insured on the big box stores, the big boys? Is that stuff insured? You'd think it would be, because they wouldn't want to take a huge loss like that. Now, if somebody's going to play with electricity or something like that, once you want to cut back on your stores and what's in your stores before this happens, all that waste going, you don't want to take that hit of thousands and thousands of dollars in loss.
Well, I can tell you what happened to us here in 04, 05 when the hurricanes came through, because some of the big box stores here didn't have the proper equipment. They were trying to give it away, and whatever they didn't give away, they threw away all the meats, because we were out of power for 2 to 4 weeks. That's just 2 to 4 weeks.
The other thing, guys, is that I was looking, the old FEMA website now says we're supposed to have 6 weeks of food supplies and up to 6 months. So they upped it from 3 to 3 months. And in other countries, they're telling their people up to a year. Question for you though, Gray, what is up with the building that was in the middle of two other buildings that collapsed?
Do you want me to what? Give you the conspiratorial?
I already heard that portion of it.
Yeah, there's so many everything that happens. There's a conspiracy, especially on YouTube. Oh my God, the building collapsed. It was a controlled demolition to make Ron DeSantis look extremely bad because the left wants him to fail. And yes, the left does want Ron to fail, and they put some stuff out there to make him, oh, he didn't act fast enough. He didn't contact FEMA fast enough. The Democratic governor down there tried to say some stuff, but now they're backtracking because there's paper trail that's coming out. So, but no, it's Miami, or not that. I mean, that southern region. You have salt, you have decay, you have a lot of things that happen down there, and without, it's just like you have slumlords and people that own properties who don't get things checked out on a consistent basis, and they say, then it'll fall on, it falls on the city and stuff like that. But there has to be a communication amongst all these people, and things need to get checked out, especially depending on the age of the building, how close it is to the ocean, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of things that can happen and reasons why things like that happen. But no, there was no 9/11 conspiratorial thing with the building or any of that crap like that. Which really sucks is a lot of people have lost their lives already. I think they were 10 or 12, and they still haven't found others because they're buried in that. And they probably, just imagine being buried under rubble for days and days and days. A lot of folks, and the number's going to go up. It's a very sad event. And people should look at it that way. You know what I mean? It's not something that you want to draw conclusions from and make up crap. It's just I hate when people do that stuff. Like, it seems like with anything these days, California was out of power for 6 hours. It must have been this. It must have been that. We know California goes out of power, because of the way that their power grid system is set up with, like, the wind turbines and stuff like that. Their dependency is different than some of the other states, and they have rolling blackouts. It's not like it's not this huge thing that's that people come up with. It makes good TV or good YouTube, to be honest with you.
We got some new guys. Take some second here. We got new people in the chat. Guys, remember, hit the thumbs up, please, when you come in. We got Papa Two Bears is in here. I see Jam in the Nut House is in here now. Who else did I see that was in here? I said move north and Homestead. Hi, there's my Dragon. How you doing, buddy? I haven't seen you in a while.
Dragon, you're absolutely right. Because it's a racket. Just like in any major city, it's a racket. It's all about money.
That's just sad, using money on people's crazy.
The rich don't care about people like us, man. The rich and powerful, they could care less what happens to us.
Very true. Dragons in the house.
And that's what I tell everybody. I'm like, from the prepping standpoint, there's certain things that you can't control. You can't control a coronal mass ejection. You can't control earthquakes and hurricanes. Some people say you can, but and then we're going to get into that whole thing with DARPA and HARP and all the other stuff. But what I'm saying is, in general, is there's nothing that you as a citizen can do about some of these disasters or situations that arise. All you can do is prepare for anything and everything that you possibly can for, so that if that situation does happen to you in your area, you're ready.
So Harvey just said the building that collapsed in Miami is about 40 years old. 3 years ago, the engineer report done the recommended fixes. They were expensive and allegedly not done. Over 100 still missing.
Yep. It's like I said, it's not. It sucks. It's a very sad event. You know what I mean? And for people to take and exploit it for political crap is BS, man. But that's what the left likes to do. And hopefully no one gets mad at me for saying the left, but that's what I call them.
Hey, Glock, good to see you.
That's smart, Harvey. I would too. I would find a new place to live, because whoever's running that building doesn't care.
like you said, though, you're going to have those, the slum lords and stuff like that. I couldn't believe it because right now there's a lot of people around here that are actually looking. There's number one, there's no houses in our area that are for sale. As soon as they go up, they're gone. What the problem what they're having is the people that then sold those houses are trying to buy another house, which is extremely expensive. So the trick, or I don't know, I don't want to say it was a lie because it was true. It is a seller's market right now, but it's not a buyer's market right now.
Right. Britt Marie out in Cali said that they're being threatened with brownouts in Sacramento.
What the heck's a brownout?
So a brownout is so a blackout is black. You go out, right? So they limit the amount of energy. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like here in Florida, it's weird. Sometimes, depending on how the structure you live in, I've seen stuff like that where, you have the lights flicker. They'll go out for a second. It dims really low. Because something is going on. Most of the time when we have most of our power outages either due to storms or some snowbird hit a pole because they don't know how to drive in the rain, and they got to get it fixed.
So here's the thing. The bottom line, guys, is
limiting the amount of power.
Okay, learn how to do things the old way. There's so many. I mean, our ancestors used to get up at sunup. They would work their day, and when it was dark, they went to bed. Pretty much the way that it's going to happen. Obviously, candles and stuff like that. Don't be dependent on electricity or any of these modern things, because at any time it can be gone. And that's why, like Gray and myself have a lot of books. I don't put a lot of things on my phone. I do have a couple apps that I use on my phone, but I don't have a lot of that. I have hard copies just because if something does go down, I have it physically in my hand.
Agreed.
Hey, Jimmy Nickens, what's going on?
It depends on where you're at, Jimmy. 10:30 here means I have a half hour to get ready, but 10:30 over at Mark, that means and his time zone is behind.
Yep.
That's what I was showing folks. Those candles that I got, they're 9-hour candles. They're built with beeswax that are a certain way. Worst case scenario, you can if you have me personally as a prepper, I have lots of Vaseline, which can kind of be some people might think that's weird, but you can use Vaseline for wicking. You can put a candle and wick and use Vaseline in there and use that as a candle. If worst case scenario, if you don't have them, there's things Vaseline has many uses for in the prepper side of things.
Can use regular. I've got 24-hour oil lamps, emergency oil lamps that are sealed.
We call those hurricane lamps here.
Yeah. So I got a few of them. You never know what.
What do you prefer? Do you like the Dietz, DIETZ, that brand of hurricane lamps or oil lanterns because they're more for outdoorsy, or do you have a specific brand that you use?
I just bought a case and I put it downstairs for a rainy day. I don't even know the name of them. Okay.
I was just curious because I was upgrading a couple things and I was researching oil lanterns, and that was one of the highest recommended. That brand was.
I look at two things. Is one of the things with oil lamps is you're always going to have some kind of fuel burning off of there. So you're looking at the pollution, because if you got it in the house, I want something that's clear burning, not versus a dirty burn. That was number one. Number two is I was looking for the longest time I could get out of it for the cost. So these were really a decent price range for being 24 hours, and they were a clean burn. So, which really helps out in those situations, because if you're walking around and you want to have something lit for like a candle, you know that the candles aren't a clean burn. So you're going to have some kind of soot off of there. And if you guys are now into a smaller environment, because in our case, it's 40 below outside, and we're all in one area that we want to keep warmer. That area, if you got 2 or 3 candles in there, obviously you're going to have the light that you need, but it's going to be a dirty light. I was looking for more of a clean light situation. Speaking of clean lights, Mr. Gray gave me this idea weeks ago, and I just finally finished it. The little tap lights to get downstairs. So we went and we looked through our house, and we went and looked at where our dark areas were and where there was no lights. And we got some of these little tap lights that I found at the dollar store for $1. There's Velcro they stick on there. They have just tap it. They're not like the one you had where you got 3 different ones. One is on and one is off. But I strategically planted them downstairs and through the basement and in the dark areas of the house where we don't have a light source. And if something would happen, we can physically just go and tap it up. So I've done that now.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people have good ideas, and yeah, I've discussed. Funny enough, I've discussed a lot of those ideas. The crayon trick, lighting crayons on for candles, collecting old candles and reusing their wax, and building candles out of old candles. There's a lot of good things, and when you put your mind to it, and that's a good thing that a lot of you guys think outside the box like that.
That's the whole trick. That's the trick to this whole thing is not think outside the box. Don't be stuck on one thing. You know what time it is?
Uh-oh. Is it what? Oh, time to go hard or something?
Oh, well, we can do that too, but it's time to go get some more coffee.
Oh. I was like, what's Mark talking about? Yeah, I can imagine, CB. You're all the niceties of life, vacuum cleaners, washing machines, and all that stuff like that everybody depends on a daily thing to keep their house in order, keep their clothes clean. But that's what I'm saying. You have to look at the primitive side of things and look. I mean, because back then, when they didn't have this type of equipment, when they didn't have this state-of-the-art Dyson vacuum cleaner, or this digital high-tech washing machine that tells you on your phone, hey, your wash is done. They had to do everything by hand.
I did find something that you'd be really interested in. Hey, D14, thank you. Thanks for the super chat, buddy. Monty, he's winning. I'm telling you. All right, I'm going to go get that. Keep going. I don't know if you guys have seen the bucket washer. Have you seen that yet? You got one of them, Gray?
You talk about like the old like galvanized thing.
No. I'm looking like a plunger.
Oh, okay. Let's see what Mark has up his sleeve. Let's see if it's something he made. If he made it, he should share it with us and sell it. Let me see. What are you guys talking about? You guys talking about my Dyson? Who has hand cranked camping washing machines? Agreed, Muzzle. Those are some good stuff there. Old equipment usually better built last. Harvey Black, I agree with you 100%. Everything that was built like in the 50s and 60s are way better than the stuff that they make now. Because stuff made now is to be disposable. You can go out and pick up a TV, a big screen TV for whatever reason, and you pay like pennies on the dollar because they're replaceable at this point. Everything has gone cheap. Mentioned how can people live without a dishwasher? I said don't use mine. Can't do dishes.
All right, buddy. So everybody knows. I was thinking about a washboard, right?
Right.
It's pine. What happens when pine gets wet? Swells. And it is doweled and pinned, but still, it's not yeah. I wasn't thinking. I thought, I saw the old days. They had the old Gardner Josh. There it is, buddy. Thank you so much. I seen the old twist ones, and then on the top it had the press. And I'm like, hey, that's a pretty cool idea. Think you can find one of them? Nope. But I found this.
Washing wand. So what do you put that in a 5-gallon bucket or something?
Yep. And then when I 5-gallon bucket with the hole, and then it is the spiral portion for the bottom, but it's actually designed like your washing machine. So you put it together, and it's got adjustments for you short people or tall people or whoever is doing it. And it has water jets, so as the water comes up through here, it shoots out the sides. Pretty decent idea. And if you think about laundry and you think about time consumption versus calorie intakes that we are talking about all the time, I think this is a very, just like Gray said, put a hole in the top of a 5-gallon pail, give it to the kids and say, take out your frustrations. And away you go. I think I got them backwards, but because they're not, maybe that's supposed to be like that. I'll have to check.
Hey, what's up, Ginger Ninja? I watched your gardening walkthrough video yesterday. Last night it was pretty cool.
So what do you think for laundry, Gray?
No, that's pretty cool. I like it. What'd that cost you? What'd that run you?
I have no idea. It was actually one of those things that years ago, somebody, and the great people of YouTube land, when I first started this whole thing, said, I think one of the guys at that time had a regular toilet plunger, and he had it in a 5-gallon pail. He's living off grid, and that's how he did his laundry. And I'm like, that's a cool idea. And so I went on the old Amazon and I was looking around, and I ran into the old one there. And I'm like, oh, that's a lot of calories burnt right there. And this one popped up. So I'm sure you can find this on Amazon.
Is that one called the Wonder Washer?
Yeah, washing wand.
Oh, washing wand. Okay, because I got confused because there's a Wonder Washer out there. It's like a little portable thing. There she is. It's about 25 on Amazon by Easy Go Products. That is pretty cool, though. I like that.
Because everybody knows. Oh, come on, focus. Everybody knows that laundry is going to be one of those things that you're going to have to take care of. And a 5-gallon pail, you think as a grown man or family of 3, you're going to fill up that 5-gallon pail pretty quick.
That is interesting.
Well, you found it, huh?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I think it's pretty neat. I mean, if you get, let me see where I could just cut where I'm at.
Treeland, $60. What do you? I hope it's not $60. That's just plastic. Lady T says, going to boil my clothes. That was how they did it back in the old days. They just stick it in hot water and away you went, or go down to the creek. But
whoops, I didn't want to do that. I just deleted chat, so now I got to go back in.
yeah, Jeep Grill, that's right. You can. And that's what I saw the first time was a guy just had a basic toilet plunger, 5-gallon pail, and he was doing that. But my impression with this one is that it makes a swirling motion, and it's supposed to help get your clothes cleaner. One of the biggest things back in the old days was just plain old dirtiness, and there was no cleanliness. In the old days, their clothes were, dirty, wrinkled, whatever else. Not wrinkled, but just dirty, nasty. And if you're living on a farm, or if you're, me as a machinist, I've got harder stains, and I've got grit, and I've got a lot of stuff, that oils and stuff like that are on my clothes. So I was looking for something a little bit more tougher than just a little up and down thing.
Yeah, Treeland, what Mark had just said, that's if you click on the link that I put in there, it's something else. It's called the Easy Go Products Washing Wand, hand powered for camping, apartments, more portable. It has over almost 1,500 ratings, 4.5 out of 5 stars. But I put that link in chat. Or you guys can check it out and make a decision for yourself and just look at it and read people's reviews and stuff like that, just to kind of familiarize yourself with it. But the other thing that you're talking about, yes, that is because that was like a portable thing where you have to turn on and plug in and stuff like that. I think the Wonder Wash thing.
Firefly, good to see you guys. Don't forget, hit the thumbs up, help us out.
Oh, you already have Treeland has the Wonder Wash. But anything man, woman, child powered, whatever you want, anything human powered, there we go, that's a proper way to say it. Anything human powered is going to always work better than anything based on electricity. You know, I give credit for some technology, Mark, and I know you're probably may disagree with me on this one. So I have a weed eater and a blower, right? It's a hybrid. It runs on battery power, or you can plug it in. Well, I thought to myself, well, if it has a battery that I can charge on my solar charger, I said, then I can still technically use it. So I was like trying to think outside the box with it. I'm like, well, that's kind of cool because it has like those 20-volt lithium batteries, you know. But I mean, just because if you have, let's say you have a nice, you know, like I think Mark, you have a zero turn, one of those nice lawnmowers, you know, how much fuel do you put in there, how long that lasts, and so on and so forth on the upkeep of the farm and stuff like that. I was just trying to think of like, what else could you use? You know, you can use the old push one with the thing, but with your size property, that would probably take a lot of work.
Goats,
yeah, goats. That's true. Hit a double-edged sword with that one.
just chain them up and they make a nice circle and move them down the line.
That is a pretty good idea. I never thought about that.
You know, you got rotation, and you know, one of the things that you want to do on a homestead is we have a lot of grass and stuff like that, but at the same time, we want to grow things that we're going to use and we're going to eat. And obviously grass is for animals, it's fine. But for us, I mean, yes, we can't consume it, but I think it'd be really, after a while, would not be a good thing. So more things that I'm actually making more food plots. I'm making more stuff so that we can have designated areas for different things. Hey, Mal's in the house. Quebec Homesteads, yeah.
We got to figure out something. And now that I got this, I haven't even took it out of the box yet, Mark, that dehydrator. So I got to do a review on.
Yeah.
I think Mal did a review on. I'm going to probably watch hers just to kind of maybe steal some ideas from her because I've never used one. But I would need. I don't know if you wanted to still do that. Your dehydrator versus you know, a more, I guess, affordable option, I guess, for folks who can't afford, you know, the Excalibur or whatnot.
Absolutely. We can do some, I'll give you my jerky recipe and how to do that. And we'll do your first batch will be jerky. That's very easy to do versus some of the other stuff. You can do a lot. I don't know what, you got basil up yet?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have purple, whatever they call it, purple basil and green basil. Well, but the problem is the heat is making one of my top of my basil's flower. So I'm going to try to steal some seeds from that.
Oh, yeah, then cut it off.
I saw that the other day.
You're going to have to start cutting them back. You can take a third of your herb plant, and then by cutting that off and leaving, what I do is I just cut off. You have your first set of your infant leaves. Hey, Mal, what is the correct terminology for the first 2 leaves that come off a plant? The infant leaves? Gray's looking it up on Google. Anyway, I'll go to my next size bigger leaves and then the shoot off, and then I'll take off from there. It gives them more of a chance to grow.
Oh, seed leaves.
Seed leaves.
There's a technical term for it. I could put that in chat, but they're called seed leaves. Yeah, JM just put it too. I was getting ready to just type and paste JM. But yes, but they're AKA seed leaves. We get a lot of smart people in chat, man. This is what I love about having live streams. We get to share information.
That's funny. She says, coddling in French, LOL. I have no idea in English.
Look at everybody coming in with those big words. Well,
So
folks,
anyway,
I'm just an old-fashioned country boy. I don't know those big folks. I'm gonna call them seed leaves.
you sound like me. Because like all my herbs I dry. I don't do too many in the dehydrator because they like to blow all over. I got my onion tops and we made some. I dehydrated them, which are going to make some really great soup base. Even those being bigger, they started to blow all over the place. So I'm really looking at more. I think it would be really good for. Yeah, at Jeep Girl, will you make a video on laundry soap? I got one coming out for that too. Is our homemade laundry soap works great.
CB said, and a powdery mildew. You know, like when you like my watermelon plants get that every once in a while. Like, what can you use neem for that as well?
I wouldn't see why not.
Because I've read it, neem is an anti whatever fungal kind of thing as well.
Fungal. You can use your the peroxide mix that I told you too.
Yeah, I use that. I've been buying bulk loads of peroxide just as a backup for because I was taking it out of my prepper stuff and giving her the big bottles. And now I'm like, well, I need more because I'm a prepper and I need to always have like a certain amount.
Yeah, Thor Haven, that was kind of a mess. The Excalibur's fan is a little bit stronger than the other ones, and I had chives all over the place.
I've just been cutting from my chives plant. I call it chives, you know, the spring onions, whatever those green things that come off the bulb. I've been taking one of those a day and cutting it up and putting it in my eggs just because it's been going crazy. So I just figured I'd use it.
Yeah, Chris is in the house. Good to see you. But well, yeah, so I think what we'll do is I will type out or send you that recipe or tell you what to do, however you want to do it. And then that is a 2-day process. So the first day you're just marinating the jerky. So you're going to thin slice it depending on what you and your family want, depending how you want to do it. I got a meat slicer, so it makes it really easy for me. And I just slice it all up. And then you're going to take your marinade and your favorite seasonings. If you want to do cracked black pepper, if you actually want to do a marinade, that's all up to you. And then you put it in a Ziploc bag, and away you go. What?
No, I was just gonna say Ninja. That's what I'm using right now. I have a mix of that. I have the neem now, but I need more neem. There's a certain brand of neem that I'm trying to get. I think it's called Plant Tonics, but where was that? Cayenne peppers mixed with dish detergent and garlic. That's exactly what I'm using right now. I have a big bottle of that outside hanging on the fence. I think, was it you, Mark, that told me about that?
But what?
Someone told me about the cayenne pepper, garlic, and dish soap mixed in water in a certain ratio.
That sounds like a Just thing.
Somebody told me about that, and I took it and been spraying because we got a nasty attack on the bok choy, which is, you know, like a lettuce, or I call it that, you know, because it looks like the same head. Some of these little worms, and it's just been fighting all different kinds of stink bugs, or what do they call them? Push bugs, stink bugs. But they inject their poison inside the watermelon's vines or any type of viney soft tissue stem. They inject it and kill off the vines. So I've been dealing with I think they're called squash bugs. There's all kinds of crap that I'm dealing with now. Now that the garden is starting to bloom, everything is coming around. I even saw. I never think I would see one in the suburban area, but I saw a rat or a mouse or whatever you want to call it. It was about 6 inches big, running along the fence. I thought it was a squirrel for a minute, but it wasn't. So I set some traps up for that bad boy.
You want to have fun with that?
I'm game. I was thinking the 22, but I'd probably go through my neighbor's fence.
5-gallon pail, water that's 3/4 up with a ramp, and you use cardboard with a trapdoor, and you put some food on the top of there. They go in and they drown themselves. Simple,
nice.
Easy.
I was thinking of using some of my survival skills and putting a
snare in.
I could do a snare because it's along the fence, and then on the ground I could use a deadfall. Yeah. Dragon air rifle. I didn't think about that. It's a good idea, man. We used to hunt squirrels with air rifles years ago.
Peter Snake is still
They're just misunderstood.
wrong tube with coffee, not good.
Too hot.
Yeah,
Here.
we had a hard time. Obviously, you have chickens, you have feed, you get rodents, and we were getting to the point where I was taking our rifle out and I was sniping them, which was fun at nighttime. So that's the thing, is that these things are all nocturnal, so they come out at nighttime for most of the time, unless they're really hungry.
Muzzle. He's
Caddyshack.
a Barrett M82 for rats and mice.
Yeah, then the neighbor's fence would be gone, and so the one next to it, and the next one down the road. But
Oh, I bet, Jimmy. I think I know where they're coming from. This is what happens when you have neighbors, and you know that they're not the cleanliest folks.
the thing that you got to understand about the little rodents is when you kill them in a trap, they leave off a scent, and that scent warns out the other ones. And
You know, it's funny you say that, Mark. I had a raccoon issue years and years ago, and I did 22 them, and skinned a couple and stuff like that. Had some fun with it, but then I dropped their carcass remains on the other side of the fence, and believe it or not, they stopped coming around.
the other thing, too, guys, before I forget, is at 12 o'clock when we finish this one, if you guys want to, you go over to Keto Homestead with Jess. Harvey, if you can drop her link, or Keto drop your link. And she's got the tincture Tuesday. So she's going to be doing plantain tincture today. So if you guys are looking at that, D9 from the great state of Texas, someone please send info about chiggers bites. Thank you.
I can, I mean, depending on how you want to look at it, if you're going to use a medicinal standpoint or do like a traditional, if you have the stuff, because I mean, you kind of use, I mean, to be honest, you can use, you want to wash it, of course, with soap and water, put some antiseptic on there. You can use some hydrocortisone cream or calamine lotion, and then you can also take antihistamine, apply cold compress.
Or you can use what you're making your tinctures out of, just chew it up and put it on there. Make a poultice and stick it out. Plantain is wonderful, and it sucks it out.
That's why I figured I'd answer it from my medic standpoint, and you'd answer it from your medicinal standpoint. I'll give them two ideas. Yeah, Jimmy, that's a good idea. Chlorine. That's why I jump in the pool whenever I get bit by certain things. A lot of. If you notice, there's not many bugs that will go into your pool if you have chlorine in it.
No, but there's ones that'll sit and wait for you to come back.
Yeah, that is agreed. Mosquitoes, horseflies are even bad. I've noticed. I remember fighting a horsefly one time, and I would go underwater, hold my breath for a few minutes, and then come back up, and it was just waiting for me, and bam, back again.
That and your killer bees, those will chase you down and they'll wait. Horseflies are good ones, so can't always jump in the water and get away from them.
Muzzle flash, I was advised. I was advised if I do it to put a lot of a lot of warnings in there. I never ordered the fake skin, so I would have to do that muzzle to do a suturing video. And the reason I say that is when you do medical stuff on YouTube, YouTube will slap you in a heartbeat if you don't do it to the T, to the letter. Have you noticed there's been a lot of folks that have gotten strikes due to medical misinformation? So that's why you guys haven't seen me do too much of the hardcore medical stuff anymore, because I don't want to lose the channel. I don't want to get strikes left and right because they may disagree with the way I do something. Because what we do in the battlefield, and Mark can attest to this, may be different than what they do to you from like an EMT standpoint that's, following certain guidelines or state guidelines.
Yeah. You're running an ambulance crew in the EMS system. There's guidelines you got to follow. I mean, you are covered under the Good Samaritan law in some states. Some states may not allow that, but you have a protocol that you got to follow. And I mean, we can't, I remember right, we couldn't give charcoal, aspirin, any of that stuff unless I called in and there was a intermediate on board also. So you'd have your normal EMTs and an intermediate who can do IVs and stuff like that, but you still had to call in, and that medical box is locked up. So you got to call in, you got to get the doctor's okay to give that. And you better have a really good reason why you did it.
Yeah, Dragon, I have that listed in my bio. I think I have that listed under every single video for educational purposes only. It's we can do that, but YouTube can choose to do whatever they want to do, whatever you put in those little things. I have copyright regulations and all kinds of stuff directly to the federal government website to try to protect myself. But if you make them mad, they will just shadow ban you. Mark knows this firsthand.
Yeah, just put you in a hole like I do. We'll put Mark in a hole. He tells good information. That's why I go on other people's channel and talk about it. There's ways around things.
Yeah, right. Yeah, muzzle. I've seen it too. I think Prep Medic or Prepper Medic or Medic Prepper or something. There's a gentleman out there that does nothing but medic stuff, or stuff like suturing and chest wall seals and nasophy and geels. He does all that stuff, but he's also still practicing in the field. He is still certified. He still has all the qualifications to do so. So they can't really mess with him as much, or as they can with someone that's not practicing. I call it practicing, but not. I'm not in the military anymore. I'm not, I guess classified as a medic. Yeah, entertainment purposes. There's a lot of things that I try. Let me see. I finished my takedown bow gauge with rivets instead using hammer. That's awesome, D14. Let me see here. Take it easy, Chris. Go back to you guys. Great day, everyone. But no, pigskin works great if you have access to it. They have, like I said, they have fake skin that you can order online so that you can practice with, which I suggest if anybody wants to practice suturing. But if you're good at sewing, if you're a good sewer, if you're good at sewing by hand, not using a machine, if you're good sewing by hand, you can suture anybody, believe it or not. Bat sounds. I didn't think about that.
Kind of sad when we were a kid, we used to take tinfoil and throw tinfoil up in there, and then the shotguns would come out. I didn't know that the bats were actually eating all the mosquitoes and bugs out of the ponds. We thought they were dive bombing at us.
I had a bat when I lived up north. I had a couple of bats come down the chimney and go in the house, and yeah, we played tennis with them.
I think differently now than I did back when I was a kid. I'll tell you what, though, it's hard to hit a bat even with a shotgun.
Yeah, muzzle, and just learning your different gauges of your needles and threads. There's nylon threads. There's, people have allergic reactions to certain types of threads and things of that nature.
That's why, like on the EMT service, because people have allergic reaction to latex gloves. So instead of guessing which ones they are, they all went to the neoprene and said, okay, we're done with that. Josh, what are you vaping on there, gray man?
I'm responding to it. I try to write habit, and then it writes habitat.
Yeah. Take care, Chris. I don't know if he's still in here or not. That's a good thing too, guys, is if you have an old sewing machine, in the situations that we're coming up to, it's a really good idea to be able to know how to sew a button on your pants again, or if you still have those, or how to sew up a pair of pants or a pair of jeans. If you guys got some old jeans that are all ratted up, make some patches out of those things, because blue jean is very strong. So you could actually put them up and save them for on your sewing kits to patch other things that you rip up. The other thing that I looked at, especially here on the homestead, is getting some good heavy duty pants that are or double walled on the front. Like a lot of my work jeans that I get for work are double at the knees and up on the upper thigh, because that's where most of the work area you're at is right there. So that's where it's technically going to wear out the quickest.
And a lot of people, yeah, you guys have good ideas. That's why you have backups. That's why you have the skin staplers are easy. They're pretty cheap. I've showed them on my channel before. Super glue, butterfly stitches. There's a lot of things you can use depending on the laceration.
How deep, how far it went in, what layers you're at,
because you have different layers to the epidermis.
A lot of times we look at the fact that, oh, that's just a paper cut. I've done that many times. That ain't too bad. Put a Band-Aid on and you wrap it up. And if you put a Band-Aid on tight enough, you can actually, your wound will seal back up. But then you're still got to be careful, because if you let that Band-Aid go, you release that pressure. And
sorry, as you're talking, I'm thinking about something.
Because the old medical bag.
This is the big one, so it might take me a little longer to find what I'm looking for. But this is my whole suture bag, or sutures, just to kind of give you guys an idea how many different iterations there are. I don't hope they'll probably all fall out of my hand, but and you keep them in these things because they're sterile. But there's all different. I don't know if my camera's going to focus on that. There's all different types, and what I mean by that is, if you notice this one here, come on, camera, focus.
It should be number 2.
Yeah, it's a number 2 with nylon. What do we got here? It's a number 0 with polyester. I got, come on, you can do it. There you go, number 4 with polypropylene. Like I said, some people have allergies to certain stuff, and there's also different gauges for different things and stuff like that. Dragon duct tape does work good, but it is not sterile, so you have to be careful with that. But it'll work in a pinch for sure.
Electrical tape works good too. I think that's something you can make a tourniquet with it.
And you guys were talking about this here, and like I said, these are disposables, which work great because they stay sterile. That is a skin stapler. And then, of course, you want the skin stapler remover. I like the metal ones, not the cheap plastic ones. So for those folks that say Gray's not a prepper, well, I can keep on showing you stuff all damn day.
I'll just go get my pine pitch. I'll be good.
Yeah, pine sap too. We forgot to throw that in there for pine sap for small cuts and stuff like that.
I'll tell you what, Moon, plantain works wonders, but you can keep the salt away from me, because salt on a wound, hey, talk about that's worse than putting alcohol on it.
Yeah.
Or we could be like the old cowboys and spit some whiskey on it and tobacco and call her good.
Garlic, alcohol, honey, there's a lot of antiseptics out there.
Yeah. So the other thing that we're going to talk about today, we're almost hour and 10 into this, was the food shortages. Are you guys still noticing in your area where the foods are still being cut out? I know in California they were unable to water their fields. Their plants are drying up and becoming a dust bowl. Yeah, Jan, comfrey leaves for bandages. Exactly. Yeah, Jimmy, pine sap is great for a bunch of different things.
Yeah, fire starting. I mean, you could do all kinds of stuff with, and that's what I love about Florida is we have a ton of pines. Now, we don't have birch, but we have a ton of pines. And Mark, chaga, I didn't really, because I don't have chaga, so I've never had access to chaga, but I've watched some of the folks up north also use it for fire starting, or not fire starting, but to retain.
Carry your amber. Yep.
Yep.
You can do that. You can do that with other mushrooms. There's the I don't know the technical for this, guys, so don't kill me on this one. All I know is it grows on the sides of trees. It's hard on one side and it's white, and you can go and you can make they call them bushcraft candles. You can actually carve those out. You can take some of your oils, put that in there. You cut out a wick, and they will burn for a long time. And also they can carry an amber. We just do, and we use what we have to, especially when you're out in the bush. There's so many things that you can do out there. At the same time, there's so many things out there that can bite you. So you really have to have a good understanding of what you're doing. But there's so much stuff out there. You want to get rid of mosquitoes and you're out in the bush, go find yourself some punky wood, make yourself a bird's nest, stick that in there, light that baby up, and it'll smoke like you wouldn't believe. And there's no more bugs. There's ways around things.
And Harvey, you're absolutely right. They are culling cattle because there's not enough water. There's also not enough feed. It's a double-edged sword. Water and feed are in short supply. At least the farmers that I've talked to. Don't quote me on it. You can do your own research. There's a lot of you folks all over the U.S. But
what I found out very interesting this year. Okay, we're on a rotation, so our fields are on a rotation. The two fields that are behind me should have had corn put in it this year, and they put potatoes in it instead. I'm not seeing a whole lot of fields that have corn even in it. So there was a conspiracy out there that they were getting paid not to plant corn.
Yeah, they were being paid by the government not to plant.
Yeah.
I was going to say real quick before we get off this topic, or before we jump into this, Lady T Survival, cedar is good as well to burn. Cedar burns a lot longer than some other woods out there.
And if I'm not going to get into the whole medicinal side of cedar, but the Indians used it as a cold remedy, but it has to be in proportions. It's a powerful, very powerful medicinal.
But yeah, I think Dragon also said that the truck driver issue. So if you look, we're being attacked on all different sides of the supply chain, from the from the growing, from where it starts to how it's being produced to how it's being shipped, and of course, since there's high demand and not enough product, prices are skyrocketing, which you guys have all seen probably.
But you think about it. What is the bottom line, guys? What is the end goal here? End game. What is it? It's to get you to submit. That's the bottom line. They're hitting on every angle because they know number one is food. Now, we talked about this many times. Gray's talked this with the C's, but you need food and you need water. We can make a place to stay. We can make shelters. We can do that kind of stuff. But those two right there, food and water. So, and now the percentage of food that comes into the U.S. is trucked in, shipped in, everything else. So you hit the supply line and you take that out to make it really difficult to buy. So number one, you're creating two monsters here today, because the people that can't afford it, what are they going to do? They're going to go out there and just start to take it. And then you're going to have theft, steal, murder, and all this is just a compounding situation. So I dug into the truck driver scenario because everybody was pointing fingers. Oh, it's the truck drivers. It's the truck drivers. It's not the truck drivers. What was going on is this is just some of the scenarios. So the old C came in along last year that we all got stuck in our house for so many months at a crack. They shut down the schools. Therefore, they were not training. People retire, people quit. They don't have the ability to put them back into that. Because if you guys don't know, over-the-road trucking, that is in my opinion, is one of the most, it can be very enjoyable, but at the same, it's a very stressful environment. You're a big rig. A lot of people, I'm sure you guys have been on the road saying, what a stupid driver. Can you imagine being an 18-wheeler with a full load, driving in that kind of environment? It can be a stressful environment. So they do have some special training. They have schools out there. Just like when you go get your car license, you have to go get your CDL license, depending on if you're hauling gas, if you're just hauling food, whatever. Over the road, the big boys, you got to have a special license for heavy equipment. if you don't have that training, you can't have the driver. If you don't have the driver, we don't have the product. Plain and simple. This chaos was actually orchestrated from the beginning. You cut off the supply line. Think about a military strategic plan. What do? First thing that you do is you cut out their communications. Second, you cut off their supply lines. Can't fight without ammo. Can't fight without supplies. It's been there it's been in there hundreds of years. Same playbook.
Yeah, Jason, that is ironic that when Wall Street started trading water, the drought kicks in. But yeah, there's always these coincidences, and it's pretty strange how things play out, to be honest with you.
That's why we always say, you can count on one thing. It's going to be 6 o'clock, twice a day. You can count on yourself. You can do what you can with what you have, and you count on that.
And people always ask me the same question all the time, and I always tell them food and water are probably the most important things. And then, your medical supplies and so on and so forth. And the list goes on. But, without food or water, you're pretty much done.
So, guys, there's a certain person. I'm going to bring him up in chat right now. If you guys want to do me a favor. He's just starting out on YouTube. Best Life. Hey, Jess, if you want to go grab his link, guys, go check him out. He's a homesteader. He was the last one that I watched. He was doing some chickens. So if you can, go check his stuff out. And welcome to YouTube. And let's see if we can't help this guy out a little bit. There's 43 of you in here that is showing right now. 42.
Yeah, I love seeing people create channels because it gives us more options to spread this message, because the message is being suppressed on all forms of social media. They don't want this information, this education stuff getting out.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing too, is, he was dispatching chickens and cutting up chickens, which is a fact of our life. We do that. We're on a homestead. But I know how hard it is, because it's such a touchy subject, because YouTube will slap you so fast and put you in a spot that you're not going to get out of, just because somebody says that's not right. But they have no idea where their food comes from. But killing a chicken's wrong. That's a hole that we don't want to get down.
Yeah, I don't understand it either, because people ask me when we go hunting for hogs and stuff like that, are you going to slaughter a hog? And I'm like, I don't know if I could show the slaughter part, but I could show you the cooking part, or in the hunting part maybe, but not the actual slaughter of it, which doesn't make sense, because there's documentaries and movies and all kinds of stuff. I don't know. This is why, again, I want to design my own website. It's just, I've looked into it. I have my .com. I have graymanprepping.com, which I own, but hosting and building the website is going to cost me thousands of dollars.
Isn't there that free one that you can go and do, or is that one junk?
Yeah, but then you're going to have a bunch of what's it called, ads and stuff on there. You can be limited. It's just, I want it to be 100% First Amendment, free speech, free whatever everything. I don't want no one to mess with me at all, no matter what I put on that website.
Here you guys go. Here's Best Life. All right, here's this video, processing chicken I was talking about, and it shows you how to make an affordable chicken processing setup. And got some onions in there. Got the bird. He has Cornish X's in there. So a lot of good stuff here. Like I said, he's just starting out. He's got 115 people in there right now that are watching him. Guys, if you can, here, we'll make this 116. Jess just told me about him the other day. We're going to do this the correct way. And we're over here. Can I put on there, welcome to the crazy land? No, I probably can't. I get trouble for
that. Welcome to the community.
Welcome to the zoo. All right, guys. So there you. We'll let that one play in the background. I don't want to get him in trouble. There you go. Hey, where'd my chat go? Oh, there it is.
That's why I keep 2 screens up, because I do that all the time.
I do. I got 3. Well, I got 2 chats running and the 2 screens running, and I still lost it. It's like, where did that go?
No, the best life, we're about community, and we're about raising, helping other folks out, because starting out on YouTube is pretty hard, man, to get your watch hours, to get subscribers. It takes a while before YouTube will actually promote your channel, if they do so.
Gardner Josh. There's us lurkers out there, Gardner Josh, so we do know what's going on. I am bad for not leaving comments.
Today is Tuesday, right? That means I got to go to the PO box after this and do some stuff, and then tonight, I may or may not have a guest. He's supposed to call me. I do have a guest for the following Tuesday, but I'll announce that down the road. But if not, we might talk about. Someone's asked me, send me emails if I could talk about computer stuff with cyber attacks and stuff like that. But I don't know. We'll see what I decide to talk about today. I haven't put nothing up, no thumbnail yet. Maybe in a few hours I'll put something up. But I do have a lot of stuff coming up with other channels. Some on their channels and some on my own. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we're all and you got to remember, I got a full-time job where I've been working way too many hours, but I do watch your guys' content as much as I possibly can, and the fact that YouTube likes to stick me into that hole all the time.
Yeah, YouTube. I noticed YouTube does my views, they do like a drip thing, like a drip feed. Like it'll show on my side how many views I got, but when I go and look on a channel, it shows like half that. And then throughout the day, they'll just slowly add until within a 24-hour period. And you've kind of explained to me that, because if I get all the views at one time, then I break that thing on YouTube. So they just like to drip feed my views, even though people are watching. It takes like a day for my views to show up.
They throttle you back. Well, guys, we are going to be starting a new series on here. I'm going to be cooking out in the outside kitchen, and we're going to be using the Joe, the pit boss. We're going to be using the griddle, and we're going to be doing different foods. So far, the 2 videos that I have sitting back up here on the barn, super sticker. D14, man, you're going nuts. Thank you, sir. Right now we have, I made some spare ribs. I smoked some spare ribs, so we have that video, and I did do some homemade pizza on there, which was awesome too. So we have those videos that'll be coming up here shortly, coming out, so you guys can watch that and tell me what you think. But I'm just kind of using the different ideas on how to cook on the outside to give people in this time frame that's coming up an idea of what you can do. And we're trying to use everything that's on the homestead as much as we possibly can. Dragon, I do. I just don't tell anybody.
If I'm thinking what you're thinking, then yeah, that's a great idea.
Some things you're just not allowed to talk about.
Yeah, Lady T, it's a struggle. Some people get lucky that I've gotten blessed by some folks out there who have helped me grow. Some of the larger channels like Edinburgh Prepper Nurse 1, Rudy at Alaska Prepper, Jason Angry Prepper. Some of those folks have really helped me grow tremendously.
Josh.
Or Josh A. Dragon, Duke Cannons.
That is hilarious that you said that, because a little short story. I was a machinist beforehand, and the business that I was working for went and moved to the Big C. And so I got a full boat ride to go back to school. So what did my choices, my 4 top choices when you go, Jason and V, thank you so much. The 4 choices that I had was number 1 was to be a police officer. So called up my buddy and he said, you know what, you'd be a great cop, but you're too old. They want the young guys that they can actually nurture and do things. Okay, second one on the list, machinist. Third one on the list was, what do you call him? A morgue guy.
Mortician?
Mortician. I ain't going and playing with dead guys. There's no way. So machinist is what we're going to do. In school, we were doing exactly what Josh said. Is I actually made the cannon, and it took the M203 round was the same diameter, and I milled and laid out the rounds for the M203. And then everybody that was in the class started jumping on board. And then finally the teacher said, we got to stop this. You got to take that program out of there because there's too many people making these things.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I do a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yes, yeah. Man, I'm halfway through that dandelion jelly, brother.
Yeah? What do you think?
Low. It's getting low. No, it's great stuff, man. I put it on all kinds of stuff, biscuits and toast. Sometimes I just take a spoonful and eat it on the way out of the house. What
did you try the seasoning yet?
Oh yeah. I tried that seasoning. All right. Had my mouth warm. The Lady Gray loves it. She loves that stuff, man. She's like, this is good stuff. I'm like, yeah.
Too hot for Gray.
That's crazy, Jason. Thanks, Jess.
That's hilarious.
And you know, for you folks that are talking about, you know, growing your channels, and this is a hard part for Mark. Luckily, I have the job that I have and stuff like that. But consistency is huge. Consistency, that's why I pump out 5 videos a day, even though it cuts into a lot of time, of family time and other things I could be doing. But I've built what I've done so far, and I'm just pumping it out every, like I said, I do five. Yeah, I do 2 lives and 3 videos a week. And that's the only reason it's been going the way it's been going. What is Dragon saying? Gray need dandelion jelly. Mark will sell you some for more than just a low price of 10 payments of $19.95. That's great. You know, it's funny, Mark. Do you ever go back in history and watch some of your old stuff? Like I've watched some of my old interviews because keto just made me pop in my head, and I was watching the old interviews, watching some of these channels come up, like Jess, and having the conversations with these folks and stuff like that. It feels so long ago, but it's not. It's only been 6 months since I've been here on YouTube.
Jason says, mortar almost killed me, blew my hand in half, and bruised 70% of my body. Got a helicopter ride. Not cool.
Yeah, brother.
Helicopter rides are fun unless you're the one that's sitting in a medic bag.
Yeah, for sure.
Best life I made dandelion jelly last month. I used at Rolling Homestead. I used my video.
That's awesome. Yeah,
That's
Mark's
great.
got some skills, man. Mark's got some good skills. He's definitely a chef.
I pass that down now.
Oh, thanks, Moonlight, for joining us. I thought I've seen Moonlight on my channel too, but I don't know. Some of the names look familiar, or maybe is it because there's Moon Phase. There's something else, Moon. There's a few moons that float around on my channel.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different moons. Well, that's the key to a lot of stuff. You know, guys, if you are, like Gray said, I'm terrible at this because consistency I can't do. But if you really are interested in being a creator and growing your channel, consistency is it. And that's with your thumbnails, your description. And me and Gray have sat on for numerous hours talking and trying different things. And it is a great way to do that, but you have to be consistent, put out a schedule, because I've seen that YouTube likes that commitment. They like to see that commitment of a schedule and that you stick to it. That will also help you. And when you're trying to grow in the community, make sure that you're doing your own stuff. Be original. Don't piggyback onto someone else, because what happens is this platform is huge for their cutthroat and everything like that. And I know you guys are all working up the ladder and you're doing things, and everybody, no one here is the creator of canning. No one here is the creator of butchering a chicken. No one is the creator of making jelly. It's been done years and years and years ago. We're just sharing the information, but make sure we all have our certain things that we add to it. And that was what makes it your own. Your own video footage, your own style, that makes your stuff. So when you do that, be yourself, and the other thing is make sure you do your research beforehand. Make sure that you're putting out the best information you possibly can, and it's true and legit, because, everybody out here, they can smell a BS a mile away, and they're going to bite you on it, and you're going to find out real quick. Muzzle Flash, what are you saying?
I'm on Moonlight Gypsies.
You read this?
Hold on, let me finish my comment on Moonlight's thing to make sure I'm subscribed to her. Comment and make sure all notifications are on. Thumbs up her video real quick, because she is in Florida just like me. So I'd like to add fellow Floridians to my channel. All right, now let's go back over here. Rolling Homes are wild business. What do you think of the governor of California planning to pay everyone rent? Something fishy going on there. Yeah, Muzzle. If that's true, I know they're doing a. The California did a stimulus for all their residents as well, even though they don't have enough money to do half the other stuff because their homelessness is off the charts. I've talked about that. But if that's what they're planning on doing, because they want you dependent on the government, once you're dependent on them, look at history. Look at history. What happens when you become dependent on them? You can look at places like Cambodia, Iran, Iran, China, Russia, North Korea, Vietnam, so on and so forth. Venezuela. They're just Cuba. Look at all these places. Look what happens when the government does everything for you. And Britt, I would agree. He is probably trying to save his job, per se. Yeah, Moonlight. I was looking at the blackberry pie, the blueberry the pie video. That's the one I just commented on. That grabbed my attention.
Anything with food grabs my attention.
Yeah, it was just a picture of a pie, and I was like, all right, I'm going to that one. Let me click on that one, because she was talking about her crops, too, in one of her recent videos. Ark Wildman.
Oh, hey, there's Art. How's it going, buddy? Hope you're having a great day.
Yeah, Jam, I agree. The best life, you're exactly right. Whenever that happens, you know it's not a good thing. Me too, Misk. Me too. Yeah, and like it says, there's going to be a lot of people. A lot of people don't like what we're doing. And what I mean what we're doing is we're sitting here having a conversation with you folks. Sometimes people will hit you because like, oh, well, I don't see you outside. I don't see you out in the mountains. I don't see you doing this. But a lot of folks have full-time jobs. A lot of folks don't have the option to go out and do certain things. Or it could be the weather. It could be the environment. There's a lot of things that why some preppers will sit here in an office and have a conversation with you. But you can still vet their information. You know what I mean? Definitely vet the channels that you watch, be it gardening, homesteading, prepping, any type of preparedness channels, anything that's in educational and informative. You know, you want to vet the channel before you, what is it called? You know, I'm trying to think of a word when you subscribe and yeah. dedicate yourself to that channel and their information that they're providing. Because like I said, I'm not always right about everything. I get things wrong all the time. And thank God that I have you, the subscribers, that are sending comments. I'm like, Gray, you got carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide wrong. And I'm like, well, thank you so much, because I'm an idiot sometimes. But majority of the times I do all right.
All right, Jess, we'll see you over there in a bit.
Yeah, Jess, I will probably be in there for a minute as well, but I'll keep you rolling on the TV while I go run errands.
And Freaky's in the house. Good to see you, Freaky. Like I said, there's 46 of you guys in here. Jess, before you leave, you want to drop your link, Dragon. Whoever can drop her link for her live, she's going live after us. So when we finish here in about 30 minutes or so, Jess will be live, and we can all jump over there and we can learn how to make the plantain tincture, which is a great and wonderful asset to have on your shelf, because there's a lot of medicinal purposes in plantain as fresh and as a tincture form. So salves, everything else, it's a really great idea. Freaky.
And Mark, down the road, I'm going to be, remember Charlie over at NL Ghost Wolf up in Newfoundland?
Mm-hmm.
He's doing a video series called Medicine Walk. They have about 60 wild, edible, and medicinal plants out there, and I'm going to showcase him on my channel here soon. To help him spread that word about medicinal, edible plants out in that area. So that might intrigue you as well.
Absolutely. Somebody said about Dragon. Oh, JM Nuthouse. Yeah, Dragon is just a YouTube supporter with a vast knowledge of all kinds of stuff. So he's been a part of our homestead, I think, since I pretty much started. There's a couple of them that have been there that long.
Yeah, Dragon is definitely a strong supporter of channels like ours. You know what I mean? He always comes in for support and helps keeps us going. You know, keeps the channel.
Lady T's another one. You got Freaky was another one. So there's those guys were there since I started this whole thing. And of course, all the new ones that I got now. So like I said, guys, it is if you want to do it right, and the best way for the YouTube land is, do it the right way, and you'll have some great friends. And Mitch, here's another one. No, I haven't heard from Merle at all for a long time. I hope he's good too.
Just to answer Jimmy's question, I think we said where to go. Jimmy. Either of you know if you can use antibiotic ointments? So like stuff like Neosporin, it will last a lot longer, you would assume. On the average, at least a year after past that expiration date. Remember, expiration dates are CYA, cover their butt for the manufacturers, but you can use it up to a year after the expiration date. And just remember, basically, what happens is the medicine starts to degrade, so it's less effective. But you know, from what I've researched, a year after that best by date or expiration date, you can use stuff like that.
And Jimmy, if you can, the best thing is to learn how to make your own, by far, because then it is renewable and you always have it. So learning your edibles in your area. By the way, Gray, we have to come up with a date when we're going to give all the books away and stuff. We never got onto the whole wild edibles thing like we're going to, but I got a box full of goodies that we do.
Oh, I love reading chat sometimes. This is why I like when you're hosting, because I can pay a little bit more attention to chat. Agreed. Freaky Geeks helping me out with the periodic table and the symbols. Yeah, I like I said, sometimes we get jumbled. I'll say things and mean something else. I got us do it like Jason over at Angry Prepper does. Sometimes he'll put like a little correction at the bottom of the screen if I catch it. But you know, Dr. Potaninus, welcome. Making it on his mind. Yeah, let's go work on. But you know, like I said, we can't get everything right, but at least we learn from each other as a community, which is great. That's why I always tell everybody to be interactive in the comments, because not even only interactive with the channel and interactive with me, but interactive with each other in the comments, which I love seeing as well. People commenting on comments that other comments have left and just sharing ideas and information, which just helps us become more informed, more educated. Which is, I've learned so much since I've started YouTube. Like I said, this is my first year gardening. I will probably do the update tomorrow. I will show them before and after. It's not the biggest and the best garden, but coming from nothing to what I have now is a lot more in my road to self-sufficiency and learning before I actually buy a homestead, learning aspects of gardening and what works well here in Florida for me, and what were trials and tribulations of gardening.
The other thing I was going to tell you guys too, for those that know what it is, it would really be a good idea to check in some tannerite. And if you don't have tannerite, you might want to get some before they take it off the shelf.
Yeah, every time I see it on sale, I buy it. I don't care. I just keep on. I need to get a warehouse. They're going to probably put me on a list or something.
You're probably already on a list.
Probably on a list. Yeah, I'm probably on a list. Oh boy.
What I miss?
I love chemistry. You know, D14. Even in 9th grade in high school, I got an A+, which I didn't think was possible in high school, but I got an A+ in chemistry. I was in chemistry honors. I know more than I let on to, which is a good thing. You don't want to kind of lay all your cards on the table. Like I told some of you folks, I do have a degree in computer science. Like I said, you know, there's certain things in me that I keep hidden of knowledge, but you know, when it comes into play, you never know. Because I could tell you what I did with my knowledge in high school with the chemistry stuff, but I'd probably get in trouble.
Jimmy, that stuff makes big booms. Yeah.
Yeah, learning the components of certain stuff, the chemical components of certain stuff will help you tremendously to create things. Yeah, Josh. Matter of fact, I stated that on one of my on my videos that I can be a bit nerdy sometimes when it comes to certain stuff. But it's good to have that side of you, Josh. It's good to have an educated, you know, smart, intellectual mind, so that you can apply certain skills. You know, having that critical thinking helps.
Yeah, dragon, it's good for that. There's other things you can use tannerite for. But I did see I don't know. I want to say it was Redneck Ingenuity. So this dude laid a pipe. You know, it looked like it was a 4 or 6 inch PVC pipe across his driveway. Then filled his driveway back up with blacktop and the whole. Then he shoots into the tube and blows up his whole driveway. I'm like, what sense did that make?
Yeah, D14. I didn't care about grades either, but I was so intrigued by science and chemistry itself is that I did all the extra credit. Every time they gave us, he said, hey, you know, if you go watch this documentary and write a report on it, I was that nerd to be like, okay, awesome. This sounds interesting. And I'd go and write the report. And I guess that's how I excelled. I hear you, Josh. I'm an overweight prepper as well.
No, they usually come running. At least here anyway, anytime there's a big boom, they're all running. What did he do now?
That's pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of the more of the why see, this is what happens. I can't think of what I'm trying to say. A lot of the homesteaders are very adept to creating stuff from what they have on their land and their property, which is a great trait to have.
Got to use what we have.
Bingo.
You know, D14. I'm a jack of all trades.
Oh, Josh, I love you, man. So yeah, what is it? Today's Tuesday. What is today's my Today is what, the 20 what? 9th?
29th.
Oh, this is going to be my tonight will be my last live of the month. The last live of the month of June. Wow, this month flew by.
Crazy how fast it's, you know, it makes me nervous too, because I only got about 5 to 6 months of good weather, and then we start the old back into the winter mode of things, and it can get pretty nasty up here. And with the way things are going, I'm kind of wondering what we're gonna run into.
So I better see what we got 42 in here. I better see all 42 tonight on my channel.
Yeah.
Because Mark will be at work as usual. So Mark never gets to watch. He has to watch the replays, and he doesn't have enough time to watch an hour and a half of me ramble on. Do
Usually I do though.
you really?
Yeah, I'll be working around or doing something when I get home, and then I'll put it on to see what you guys are talking about and who you had on and stuff like that. So
Yeah, so you could just have Moon run it on the TV or something.
she watches and she'll tell me, "Hey, you said this. We're talking about this." I'm like, "Oh crap! Now I got to go back and watch the thing because I don't know what's going on."
Freaky Geek, I do my lives on Tuesdays, usually at 9 p.m. Most of the time I have no issues. There's not too many people going on, but as of late, like yesterday, I saw 75 lives go on at the same time. So maybe I'll have something intriguing to say. I might have a guest. I don't know yet. He's going to call me. He lives in Nevada, so he's supposed to call me this morning, but it might be too quick because I reached out to him last week, but he's been busy as well.
Art, that is 100% true, because it seems like when I was a kid, time stood still and the summers lasted forever. And now it's like I can't believe that June flew by this quick. It is crazy.
Just of wind. Yeah, Muzzle, I've been watching that too. He's been bombing them. I think it's all related. Me personally, I'm not going to go down the hole, but there's a lot of stuff that just seems to be in correlation with each other. I appreciate that, Ark. I've been doing some fun stuff and some intriguing stuff, whenever, I have fun with it, man. I like to, if you consider YouTube as a job and you like wake up in the morning like, man, I got to do a video, then it's not going to be fun anymore. I enjoy doing it. So like I said, sometimes the videos do well, sometimes not, but at least I still enjoy doing it. And then people who do come across that video, maybe years from now, someone will come across that video and it helps them out. It doesn't have to be immediate reward, however it plays out. And thanks, Harvey, for sharing that. Yeah, I guess as Mark put it, I do have somewhat of a schedule.
Mm-hmm. Here's a little sneak peek here. This is just for Gray. What's to come.
You working on that one video we talked about the other day? Oh, okay, nice. Now I'm hungry, Mark.
Here, just wait. I'll get you a better one.
We're all anxiously waiting. Yeah, no, I saw that one. It's funny you say that, Mark. I got Lady Gray a new pizza cutter. I wonder why.
You gotta be making food.
Mm-hmm. I need to get me a good griddle though. You're in a homestead. I'm in a suburb, so some of the things I had to do a bit differently. But I try to do the best I can with what I have.
And this last one is where the heck is it? You guys, oh, here it is. I can't play the sound. I have to shut it off.
Oh, Gardner Josh is going to be texting me soon.
But I mean, there was no sound for the last video.
There we go. So for all you people that are wondering what we do for fun on a homestead when we get bored, oh, where'd it go? Great, check that out.
That's great. Do you actually get it pretty good? Or is that coming up? Is that a video that's coming up?
That's coming up. That was a hard tomato. I had to get the chainsaw for that one.
Oh, what is this? So yeah, July 6th.
That's tomato sauce there, Dragon. That wasn't an apple. That was a tomato. It didn't do what I thought it was going to do, put it that way.
So I think, I don't know. I'm not going to mention it yet, but July 6th is going to be a pretty interesting interview on the channel. It's going to go early because of his time difference, but we'll end up probably going at 8 o'clock on July 6th if everything pans out right.
Yeah, Doc, it was kind of funny. You got to do some things to make things humorous, right? Good to see you, Leslie.
Hold on, I'm reading this wrong.
What?
I'm trying to do two things at one time. I'm trying to convert Central Time to Eastern Time. Maybe it might be 9 o'clock then. Now that I just looked at it, because I didn't see it as Central Time. Let's see what good old Gardner Josh sent me. Oh, look at him. Is that corn? Is that cornbread, Josh? You know, you could somehow find a way to ship this stuff to me.
Here, look at this.
Let me see if I can get close enough to the. Come on, there we go.
Ooh.
And that's the type of guy I am. I make friends on YouTube with other content creators, subscribers who email me, who text me, and stuff like that. I'm a pretty open book, man.
Firefly, I'm luckily I'm not having to deal with the heat. Others are extreme heat.
So Central Time is where you're on, Mark?
Yep.
Okay, so it's an hour behind me.
Yep. You know what I forgot to put up? I forgot to put up our name tags this whole stream again. See, forgot.
Yeah, people are like, who's this guy over here with this come and take me and camo hat? No one knows who this guy is, man.
The big peace pipe. It ain't rolling. It ain't rolling like it normally is. Usually you got that big old smoke fog coming out of there.
Well, because I don't know, hopefully it doesn't mess up the mic, but I have a little fan going because for some reason all the electronics and lighting in this room makes it super hot in here.
Yep. It does. When I enter, 5 there already. Oh.
When I enter my Faraday cage room.
Ark's saying he's having a hard time finding a postcard.
Like a physical postcard, like you guys don't have any in your area, Ark. I say you could always I don't know. I know Milkmaid's gonna draw one. She sent me one, but she's gonna actually create one. I'm about arts and craft, man. Who's this great looking man? Exactly, D14. I don't know. Some old man here just rambling on as he does.
Well, once in a while we have good subjects, right?
Yeah. You know, Klingon Princess, that's the only reason I want to go out to California one of these days before it falls off into the ocean is to see the redwoods. Those are truly majestic trees that just have history, so much history behind it.
You know, I was thinking the other day too about CBD oil and all this other stuff in the when those plants are natural, and if you look at how the big government and everything else is trying to push the stop to all of this stuff, and not only because of the benefits of that plant, but just in the medicinal side of that plants and even the other side of things, if you look at how they are really stifling this and trying to stop the self-healing kind of concept, it's amazing. And it's really getting to the point where it's like, you know, when is enough enough? Now what do you got going on over there?
Well, Life with Bobby said postcards are cool, and just so everybody in chat, Gray Man is begging everyone for postcards from all over the U.S. and all over the world, because I'm gonna make a whole wall of postcards for my subscribers and folks and YouTube. But these are the 3 I've gotten so far, which are pretty cool. I think this one. Yeah, I know. I think that one is from. Let me see. That one's from the Milkmaid. She went to Tombstone and visited there and grabbed me this, which was kind of cool. But yeah, I've been getting them. This is from JM. I think JM is in chat. And that one is from me see, prep for it. Yeah, I think those are the 3 that I got so far. But I got to check the PO box today once we finish our live, and do some odds and ends before I figure out what I'm doing for tonight's live stream at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Will be my live stream tonight. I haven't gotten them from Canada yet. I have so many Canadians that watch my channel too. And Muzzleflash, I don't know if he's allowed to send one from Australia because they're on like lockdown, like their government.
Bill?
Oh boy,
They're still on lockdown?
I don't know. I just know that the Australian government is always doing something to their people.
Oh, really?
I haven't seen Homestead Austin in quite some time. I've talked to him once in their comment section, but I haven't seen him like do their normal stuff. Matter of fact, that makes me think about something. Let me go over here and make sure YouTube didn't unsubscribe me.
They wouldn't do that. What are you
No, I'm
talking?
still subscribed. Let me see. When was your last video? Yeah, 3 weeks ago. Homestead Austin's last video is 3 weeks ago. So I haven't seen him too much. Are we allowed to send cards across the border? Right, Freaky Geek? But anybody's welcome. You can find we're on Mark's channel right now, so it won't be there. But on my channel, under every video I do, my PO box is there for people to send postcards and stuff.
Hey, Harvey, can you drop Jess's live stream link in there, guys? We're gonna finish it up here, and it's time to boogie over to Jess's channel. So we got 36 in here. I want to thank everybody so much for joining us today with our ramblings and our talking. I hope it was interesting and fun for us as it was for you. I couldn't say that. Next week we will be on Gray's channel, same time, different place. Make sure you guys go tonight and check him out and support him. Thank you so much for supporting us and all the super chats that we got. Thank you guys so much. It does help us out tremendously for running the channel because it does all go back into the channel. So did he drop that in there?
I don't see it just yet. I was typing a response to The Best Life. Let me see here. I can probably pull it up just as fast. Let me see here.
I lost my chat again. Here we go.
Click.
Oh, I hit the wrong button again. You're going to beat me.
Copy. And paste. There it is.
Harvey got it.
I got that's the first time I've ever got before Harvey.
I'm showing Harvey, Dragon, everybody. D14, thank you so much for the super sticker again. That is awesome. Guys, I hope you guys have a blast. I hope you have a blessed week and keep your guys' head on a swivel. And we will be keeping you guys informed if there is anything too screwy going on. I'm sure Gray will do a pop-up and let you guys know. He's good for that. So let's all hop over there and we'll give her a great welcome and everything else. You guys take care. God bless. And we will see you on the next one.